It's no secret that I have tried so many new eyeshadow palettes over the past 6 months, and today I wanted to sit down and rank them all for you. Now, we're halfway through the year, so this is kind of like a 2025 so far palettes that I've tried, and I'm really excited. I have tried 14 new palettes this year, which is kind of crazy. I didn't think I'd tried that many. But yeah, I have. I've gone through all of my last PR little entries. I've gone through all of my reviews that I've done. I've tried my best to include every single palette. Maybe I've missed one somewhere, but I don't think I have. But if you do remember something, definitely let me know. And I'm really nervous because there's so many things here. And every time I sit down to do an eyeshadow palette ranking, I always change my mind halfway through the video. But no, not today. I'm not changing my mind. I am doubling down on these. But just before we do jump into the video today, guys, if you have not already, definitely like and subscribe. My name is Caitlin. I love bright, fun, colourful makeup. Today I'm doing a green moment. This is the first day of my 1 week, one palette. If you are following that series, you'll know that I'm working on the Subculture palette this week. So this is the look that came from that. I'm super excited to wear this. It's kind of grungy, but also kind of neutral for me. I upload every single day here on my YouTube channel, and I love project panning, ShopMy stashes, and just chit-chatting about makeup. So if that sounds like a good time to you, definitely join our little family. I'm trying to hit 8,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I really hope that we can do it, but we do need your help. Okay, let's jump into this. I've tried a lot of very good palettes. I've tried a lot of very bad palettes. I will say now, none of the palettes in this video are bad because they don't perform. Something that I have thought about and kind of realized over the past few years is that even very cheap makeup is very good compared to 10 years ago. You know, there's no skipping issues, there's no patchiness issues, there's nothing really like that. It just comes down to kind of nitpicky things like color story, or maybe it's a bit chalky or things like that. So at number 14, at the last spot, this is the PS Creamy Dream eyeshadow palette. This was the palette that I tried in my full face of Primark makeup, and I don't like this. As you can probably tell, it's very neutral. I'm not a neutral girly. It can be a little bit chalky, a little bit heavy, and the pigmentation just isn't there. I think this eyeshadow palette was something like £3. So you know what? For the price, it is fine. If you're looking for a very neutral, on-the-go, basic, kind of boring palette, this is definitely the one for you. It's fine. I've made a nice look with this. I think I've used this twice. They've been fine looks. However, they have a little bit of that white base to them, which make them look a little bit just off on the eyes, a little bit chalky, a little bit not very pigmented. You can build it up. You've got these two super deep shades here, but the pigment in this palette just isn't there. The shimmers are that really satiny kind of formula that a lot of drugstore palettes have. It's just not a palette for me personally. Yeah, it's just not up my street. I don't think I'm ever going to be reaching for this again, to be honest. It's going to be decluttered in my end of year declutter series. And so, yeah, this has to be number 14. I kind of knew when I bought it, which is a habit I'm trying to break. I knew when I bought this that it isn't up my street, but I needed an eyeshadow palette for the full face of Primark. So I just bought it. And because it was £3 or something like that, I really wasn't that fast. But I'm learning now, if I know I'm not going to use something, don't buy it. It might sound so obvious, but it's something that really, I really get wrapped up in being a YouTuber and trying to make content and things like that. I do get wrapped up in oh, I'll just buy it for a video. I need this one last thing for a video, I'll just get that. I'm trying not to do that anymore. I'm trying my very best to only buy things that I absolutely love. And with that mindset, I would not have bought this whatsoever. It's just very cheap. It's very, you can just tell. It's not the best. But again, if you're looking for a very cheap on-the-go palette, maybe this is perfect for you. Next is a palette that caused quite a stir on my channel. I'm not gonna lie, people were a little bit mad about this. And you know what? I understand why. This is the Essence X Superman eyeshadow palette. Again, a very, very neutral color story, a very, very kind of boring, bland color story. And in my initial review, I gave this quite a fine review. It's a fine palette, it works. However, a lot of you guys were saying, where's the Superman in this? Yes, the outside packaging is super cool. It's got this Superman vibe going. Love that. Inside, what is that? What is that? Lots of people were saying, why are brands doing collaborations with Superman, with Disney, with all these crazy, like, amazing, what are they called? Franchises? There we go. I had a brain fart for a minute. And they're coming out with this. A lot of people said they want this in this. And I agree. I agree. And you guys educated me on that. And that's what I love about this community here. I can say something and you guys are saying, actually, no, maybe think about it this way. And I did. I agree with you now. Where is the Superman in this? Yes, the shade names are Superman-y, but like, if you look at this, you would not think Superman. I look at this and think like ballet core. So put this color story in a ballet collection. If you want to do a Superman collection, do a Superman Commit to the bit. If you want to do Superman, do a bright red, a bright blue, a bright yellow, like crazy, like wow, comic books. This is a boring ass comic book. Yawn. So yeah, like the color story just isn't my thing. It's a fine palette. It works fine. If you just look at the color story and how it works, it's fine. It's not that bad. But I think that annoyed me when I was like enlightened by what you guys were saying. I was like, you know what? No, that's really annoyed me. And for that reason, this is number 13 on this list. It's not quite as bad as the Primark palette, but give me something more. Give me something more. This is not good enough. It will not cut it. So thank you guys for widening my horizons with that little nugget of information there. Okay, next. This is where things got a little bit hard because I'm not gonna lie, everything from here on out are really good palettes. I really, really love them all. Those two that we've just spoken about, I knew would be at the bottom. Like, we all knew. Let's be real with ourselves. We all knew they'd be at the bottom. The rest of these palettes are really nice, and I had to put them somewhere. So at number 12, this is the Catrice My Jewels My Rules eyeshadow palette. I bought this for my full face of Catrice video and I just haven't used it. I used it once for that video, and other than that I've not been inspired to use this, and for that reason I've decided that this has to be number 12 because there is no oomph for me to reach for this. I've said that I really want to do like a chartreusey kind of look, and I definitely do. Like, I want to do that, but I'm just not doing it. This blue, like, they're very like drugstore. It's very drugstore. It's a nice palette. It's nice. It works. It's really, really pretty. However, in my collection, I just have things that are so much better. This shade is really nice. This chartreuse shimmer down at the bottom, you can see the like shine on that is so pretty. So I really do want to reach for this. I want to do a chartreuse look with these three shades and maybe like a bright red wing. That would be so cute, but am I doing that? No. Am I reaching for this? No. And I have to think about that in this ranking video. There are palettes that I reach for all the time, even though they're not in project pans, and I know project pans can take over my life. Sometimes I just hyper focus on project pans and don't give anything else a look in, but sometimes I do reach for things, and as we get further on in this video, I'll talk about palettes that I've just been disobeying my project pan rules, and I've just been using these palettes just cause. This is not one of those palettes. This is a palette that kind of got buried a little bit and kind of got lost in the collection. I have over 60 eyeshadow palettes in my collection, so it is a really, really hard thing to try and compete with everything. I understand that, but I've just not used this. I think this is going to be a palette for 1 week, one palette, so that I can actually get some use on it and I can actually love it, because that is what I want. I don't want anything to be neglected in my collection, especially when they're good quality. They're fine. It's a good quality palette. It's not bad by any means. So I don't want it to just be sat in a drawer as it has been for the past few months. It's fine, it works, it's a nice palette, it's nothing spectacular, and that is why it is so far down on this list. It's just a palette. If you like this colour story, I think you'll like this palette, but I don't know. There's not really much to say about that. I just don't reach for it. I don't think about it. I open my drawers and I think, oh, I should use this, and I just don't. So there has to be a reason for that. And I just think it's not enough. It's not enough for me. But as I said, stay tuned for 1 week, one palette. This will be in there very, very soon. Next, let's talk about number 11. This is the Essence Welcome to Cape Town eyeshadow palette. Now, this was in an everyday makeup drawer recently, and I did not reach for this at all, and it was just because I am inspired by it. It's giving me kind of subculture vibes, but I'm just not reaching for it. This is one of those palettes, if you sat me down and said, you gotta use this palette today, I would come up with a look that I really like. I'd come up with a really, really nice look. I came up with a great look in my full face of Essence, which is why I bought this palette. I wanted to play around. The quality is nice. The reason why this is higher than this is because this colour story seems a bit more cohesive than this one. This colour story seems a little bit more thought out. The theme is there. This is kind of like all over the place a little bit, but this is a little bit more structured, and I really like that. I think that's a really, really good thing. This palette is nice. It's nice. It's not patchy, it's not chalky, it's not like disgusting, it's not this, that and the other. It's a nice palette, but I'm not reaching for it. I could do a very similar look to what I'm wearing today with this palette, and I think it would go really, really well. It would be a really nice look. I just don't know why I'm not reaching for it. I have so many palettes, like I said. Things just overshadow this, unfortunately. And the fact that this was in an everyday makeup drawer and I still didn't use it, that says everything to me. Maybe this has to go in a 1 week, one palette to really try and use it. But then where's the line? Am I just forcing myself to use something? I don't know. This is what everyday makeup drawers should be about. It should be about trying things and getting to know things, but I still didn't do it. What is going on with me? This theme is like so up my street. Like, I've got Oliver here. That is my childhood teddy, and there's a little lion embossing in this, and like the theme itself is so up my alley. But I'm just not reaching for it. I'm gonna say that so much in this video. I need to use this. I say that so much all the time, but it's just got such good competition that it's losing out. Okay, so when I do these ranking videos, it can be really hard to figure out what the hell goes where, okay? So what I like to do in all of my rankings is make 3 piles. A pile of palettes I'm not fussed about, a pile of like in the middle palettes, and then a pile of palettes that I really love, and it breaks it down just enough for me to be able to rank these. So these 4 palettes were in the pile of I'm not really that fussed about. So we're moving on now to the palettes that I like. I really, really like these palettes, but they're just missing something for me. So the next palette at number 10 I'm going to talk about is the Pastel Roses Moonlight eyeshadow palette. This is a really, really solid palette. It's very muted. I think that's why I don't reach for this that much, because it is a very muted grey leaning colour story, and when I play with colour I like them to be super poppy, super in your face, super intense, and this is definitely more of a chilled out colourful vibe. I've said before, the Pastel Roses always throws in these like pinky purples as well. They're just not my thing. I'm not a pinky purple girl. That's absolutely fine. I'm very much a like grungy blue, cool tone girl. So if we take away this This is a very good neutral palette for me. It's very neutral. It's very, when you really look at it, it is very neutral. If you take away like these 3 shades, very, very neutral palette, you know? So I definitely gravitated towards this shade Blue Moon, which is obviously a blue, which I love. And then Milky Way, really, really nice. It's just very neutral leaning. I wish the Pastel Roses would come out with something truly insane, because like they're very, very, you'll see other Pastel Roses palettes in this video. It's very like pinky neutrals with something else. Pinky neutrals is always in their palettes, and I want to see, I don't know, I want to see something different. It's a really great palette. I've done some really, really good looks with this. And again, this is one of those palettes, if you sat me down and said, right, use this, I'd come out with something beautiful and amazing. The shimmers is where the Pastel Roses shine, literally. They are the most stunning and beautiful things in the world. The Pastel Roses know how to do shimmer, like 100%, like duochromy, shimmery, beautiful shades. I love that about them. I definitely wish they'd come out with more of those like PC glitter shades. I feel like they've been pulling away from those recently. I wish they'd keep like going into those, because those are my favorite things in the world, as well as their single eyeshadows. Their palettes are beautiful. I feel like color story wise, it's just not up my street, and that's absolutely fine. It's a really nice palette for neutral lovers who want to expand into something a little bit different, but they still have these very basic neutrals in this palette as well. Really, really solid palette, really, really lovely quality. It's just color story wise, maybe not up my street. I do have a 20% off code that goes for all of the Pastel Roses website. That is Caitlin20. So if you see anything in this video or anywhere that you really, really like, you can use that code as well. That is not affiliated. I don't earn anything from that. That is just for you to get some money off, because I truly love this brand. I think it is an incredible indie brand, and I want to share that with you guys. I want to share affordable, good makeup with you guys. So there you go, have fun with that. Okay, at number 9, this was a little bit of a difficult one to place, because this is a relatively new palette in my collection, and it is a colourful palette, and it is a blue palette, which you'd think, wow, Caitlin, so up your street, why is this not in top 5? This is the Mitchell palette, and it is the quad in Blue Your Mind. This color story is confusing to me. You've got 2 purples, a teal, and a deep blue shimmer. It just doesn't seem cohesive to me. I don't know if it's just my brain having a bit of like a brain fart moment. Let me know down below if you get what I mean. I struggle with this palette quite a lot. I've done one look with this in my full face of Made by Mitchell, but other than that, I've just not really been feeling it. It's just very strange. I don't know, like these two go together well. I know that the teal and the deep purple do blend together, because I have blended those together in the past. So I know that they go together. But in my head, I'm like, do they though? Are you sure? Are you sure? This shimmer is a very thick, dense, drugstore kind of shimmer, you know. It's not flaky, it's not light, it's thick. She's a thick shimmer, and I don't like that. I want my shimmers to be like flowy and floaty and PC and beautiful. This is a thick boy, you know? So again, it's like, it's fine. It's a fine palette. Would I cry if you took this away from me? Probably not. Would I fight you for this? No, you can have it. I seem to be on the minority side when I say I just don't think Mitchell is worth it. I'm so sorry. I did my full face of Mitchell, and I was saying, like, I don't like a lot of his products. I don't think a lot of his base products are dry skin friendly. I don't think his cream products are dry skin friendly. I got slated in my comments. There's like a big Made by Mitchell stan community, I guess, here on YouTube. And so I'm sorry if I offended anyone with my makeup takes, but I just don't get the hype. He has done very, very, very well at marketing itself. And the packaging is like interesting, like who has packaging like this? But I just don't see the hype with a lot of his products. I have tried now a full face of his products. I'd give his brand like a C+, a B-, maybe. Like it's fine. Like it's okay. It's not groundbreaking whatsoever, but I don't get it. I'm so sorry. The blushes are dry. Like, my dry skin is dry. I say this in every single video. My skin is so dry everywhere, flaky dry. And so when he comes out with very like dry formulas, they just stick to my skin and do not move. My skin sucks all the moisture out straight away. They do not move. And that is not my skin's fault. Okay, I blame my skin a lot. That is not my skin's fault. Products should cater to every skin tone and type. I went on a bit of a rant there. I'm sorry. I'm just covering my back, you know. I know the Mitchell stans are going to be coming for me in this video, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta speak my truth though. So yeah, it's fine. Like, the eyeshadows are fine. The mattes are pigmented. The shimmer is fine. Like, it's just a fine palette. It's nothing crazy revolutionary. It's fine. Sorry, Mitchell stans. I'm really sorry. I'm just gonna mind control. You just forgot everything about the past 5 minutes. Okay, let's move on. Okay, next is a palette that the quality... Oh my god, I wish I could rank this higher because the quality of this palette is 10 out of 10. It is absolutely stunning. The colour story is not me though. It's not for me. I'm so sorry. This is the Adept Cosmetics Minka palette. This is a very pink leaning eyeshadow palette, and I'm not a pink girl, I'm sorry. I love my grunges. I love my like cool tones. I love my blues, my taupes, my greens. You can't get away with not doing pink with this palette, and I think I need that in a palette. If you come out with a palette, give me some options because I am stuck in the pink zone with this palette. Yes, there are other shades. So like this brown is beautiful. This like tealy green, stunning. There's a few like gold kind of shades, really, really cute. However, to build a look, you have to use these pinks at some point. You can't, I mean, you could just use this brown and try and like blend it out, but I think what I want in a palette is not just one color story. You know, this is pink. She's pink, she's mauve, she's like pinky mauve. That's what you're getting with this. I would have loved maybe to swap one of these mattes out, or maybe swap one of these shimmers with just a neutral transition shade to go with this, so that then you have the option to do a neutral look with it. Do you get what I mean? I just wish that there was, I don't know, maybe one of these like super pink shimmers, or like, oh, just something, just a neutral lighter brown. That's what I wish this palette included. If this palette included that, I think this would be a hell of a lot higher than it is on this list right now, because there is options. You can do things with it. This is obviously a deepening shade. This is very, very deep for my skin tone. So to blend it out, you have to use a pinky shade. There is no other option to blend this out. It is only pink. So I struggle to use this palette for that reason for these mattes. However, the shimmers are so good. Adept Cosmetics shimmers are crazy good. If you don't like very glittery feeling shimmers, maybe steer clear. There is kind of a mix of the classic like light duochromes and also kind of not gritty. I don't want to say that because it's not gritty at all, but like almost, it's not pressed glitters, but eyeshadows with like a glittery like top on it. That made no sense. I'm so sorry. Like this shade, for example, Emma, okay? It is a vibrant eyeshadow. But if you look at this, it kind of has, it looks like it has glitter in it. Do you see what I mean? It doesn't, but that's the effect that it gives. If you don't like that, maybe steer clear. Like this is intense sparkle. This is not a subtle wash of shimmer on the lid. This is like your glittery, you are a disco ball. Like, this is intense. And I love that. I think that's an amazing, amazing, amazing thing in a palette. However, I know a lot of people do like a more subtle lid, and that's absolutely fine. This is not for you. I don't know. I know that you can push these out, but I don't think you can push out the other palette. I've tried before. I don't want to ruin the palette. I'll talk about that later on because there is another Adept palette in this ranking. I might just play around because the other palette from Adept that I have does have a very neutral matte, like pale matte. So maybe I can try and pop one out. That would be great, but I don't know. I just wish it had a bit more of a neutrally option other than just being pink. It's a very, yeah, it's very pink. And I'm not about that. That's okay though. That's fine. It's just not my preference. Next at number 7, we have another eyeshadow palette. Oh my god, shocker. Also, let me know, little side note, do you want me to do this with like blushes as well and like lipsticks and other collections in my makeup collection? Because I'd love to rank all the blushes that I've tried this year. I'd love to rank all the lipsticks I've tried this year. So that could be really fun. So let me know if you want to see that. But what number are we on? Number 7. This is the Catkin Seasonal Eyeshadow Palette. This is in the shade C08 Morandi. And this is a really solid neutral palette. I feel like you can do multiple different color stories. Even though there's only 9 shades in here, you still have options, which is what I was talking about before. I feel like I can do a neutral look, a pinky look, or a kind of blue smoky look with this. And these shimmers are like the Mario shimmers. They are insane. This is so cute. I was not expecting to love this so much. I really was not expecting to love this. I thought, oh, a bit of a neutral palette. Like, yeah, it's got some blues in it, but like, I like it. I really like it. I've used this teaching quite a lot. One of the kids said, Caitlin, you've got very sparkly eyeshadow today. And I said, oh my god, thank you. So you know that your makeup slays when a 7-year-old compliments you. You know, there's that like age-old like meme that you know you've slayed when a child compliments you because they have no filter whatsoever. I have shown up and they've been like, are you ill? I'm like, no, I'm just not wearing makeup. Thank you, though. Like, they're brutally honest. So, yeah, that makes me love this palette even more. You've got very sparkly eyeshadow. Thank you. I do. It was this palette. I thought there was a spider running along it then. There was just a shadow running along it. So I did have a mini heart attack then. I think this is really, really nice. If you love neutrals and you're wanting to play around with some blues or some cool tone purples, I think this is a really, really nice palette. I love it. I think it's really, really good. I've really fallen in love with Catkin over the past few months. And what can I say? I love finding new brands. I love finding new brands with staple, incredible, amazing products. Do I wish they'd come out with like a really intense, crazy palette? Like, yes. However, I know that they are more like the C/K beauty. They are very more like neutral and like full coverage base, full coverage glam, very neutral eyes, which is great for them, which is great for whoever likes it. I'm a bright, fun, colourful clown most of the time. So yes, I wish they'd come out with something a bit more crazy, but still a really good palette and you've got options with it as well. Okay, next is a palette. This is the last palette in the... Is it? Yes. This is the last palette in the like middle section. So you know how I said I have 3 sections, the bad, the middle and the good. This is the last one in the kind of mid range. This is palette number 6 and this is the Pastel Roses Sakura eyeshadow palette. This is so pretty. It really, really is. This is their newest release and this again has those options. It does have those pinks that are kind of staple with the Pastel Roses, but it's also got some really nice cool tone shades, which I love. This green has been used by me way too many times in every single look, and I'm not even mad about it. This is what I mean by options. Like, I love having a palette with options. You got pinks, you got kind of warm tone browns, you've got more cool tone browns, and then you've got these like smoky shades. Love that. Love it. I can like dip and dive into whatever I want, whatever I fancy, and I love that in a palette. I think it's so, so cute. This side is definitely more neglected by me. I don't think this row has even been touched by me, to be honest. I have dipped into these pinks because I remember thinking, I'm gonna delve into my like not comfort zone. I'm gonna push myself a little bit. So I did use those pinks in combination with the green. I did this look. I think this look is so pretty. It's one of my favorite looks that I've ever done. So I just want to shout it out a little bit because it was really cool. I felt like a lotus flower. I felt like really cool and really like feminine but still edgy, and that's what I like. I really, really like that. So really solid palette. Really, really loved it. It is again, shimmers, crazy shimmers as always from the Pastel Roses. So beautiful, so stunning. A lot of different options, like this taupe called Wind. Really excited. That makes me excited. I know taupes have started making me excited, guys. It's getting bad. No, it's not bad. It's just different. Solid palette though. There is no blending issues with this. There is no skipping issues with this. There is no issues at all with this. It's just a really solid formula, a really solid palette. However, there are just other palettes in this list that speak to me a little bit more than this, and that is absolutely fine. I think it's still great. It is still a staple, and of course you can get 20% off with my code. So at number 5, this is where the like good palettes start. These top 5 are like, I reach for these so much. At number 5, it is another Pastel Roses palette. This is the Sweet Harmony eyeshadow palette. This was a unexpected fave. I was not expecting to like this at all, but you know what? I really love it. Notoriously, I have not liked all shimmer eyeshadow palettes, but this has just given me a really nice creative escape. So my Pan That palette has a lot of taupe neutral mattes in it, and that's great because I can pull different shades from this palette and I can incorporate them with those neutral taupe mattes, and I can just make something different. I think with Pan That palette, one of the reasons why it is such a difficult project is because you are stuck with that palette all year until you complete it, or until like the year is over, or until you just give up and get bored. This palette gives me options. Because taupe is such a universal colour, I can put pretty much any one of these shades on top of that taupe to make a new and interesting look, and that is how I have loved this palette. It's given me something new to work with. It's given me other options while still working with my Pan That palette, and while still feeling accomplished, and while still getting use on a palette and trying to finish that palette. It has been a staple palette. I've loved it so much. I was not expecting to love this. I've said this before. I saw this on the website and I was like, okay, like, oh, okay. I love it. I love it. I'm sure we all know those palettes where we're like, oh, I don't really know about that, and then we start using it and we just fall in love with it. This is one of those palettes for me. It has been a godsend when it comes to Pan That palette, or even Pan Those Eyeshadows, pairing these with different mattes that I don't really know how to use. It has been an absolute staple palette. If I have a very neutral, just even BYOP, or even like 2 mattes, I can just take 2 mattes, maybe there's some singles or whatever, and I can bring this and I can do so many different looks with this, and that is what makes this so nice. There was a Natasha Denona palette that came out semi-recently and it was all just mattes. It was like 5 mattes. If you pair this with something like that, stunning. You have so many different looks to explore, and it's just such a simple look. You don't have to know how to do a triple cut crease to get an amazing, beautiful look. Just a taupe in the crease, any one of these on the lid, and you are good to go. That's what I love about this. I think it's so good, and I really have started appreciating all shimmer palettes now, because I don't know, even a bronzer in the crease, even if you don't want to take another eyeshadow palette, bronzer in the crease, one of these all over the lid, boom, you've got a stunning, stunning eye look, and that's what I love. You've even got some inner corner options up here as well if you want to do that. I can't complain at this. I really can't. I love learning. That is something that I have always said. I love expanding my views, and I love hearing other people's opinions and just like growing my mind in that. Oh my god, I sound like Sherlock. I love like growing my mind in that kind of, no, you know what I mean. And this really has opened that love for me. I was so set in my ways. I was like, I don't like all shimmer palettes. I'm sure there are videos in the past where I've been like, I would never get an all shimmer palette, don't like them. Hello, psych. But I'm really happy. I love, as I said, I love expanding my views. I love expanding and being creative and doing things that maybe I don't like and trying to make it work and falling in love with those things. And that's what I definitely did with that palette. So yeah, that is definitely in top 5. I really, really love that. But now let's move on to palette number 4. This is the Makeup Revolution Icon palette. This is the Vibrant Icon. This I was shooketh by. I was fully expecting this to be a big, fat, patchy mess. But you know what? It's not. It's really, really nice. I really like this. It's a very basic set out, but I think it works. And I think it's great. This is perfect for people who want to play with colour but don't really know how. One of these mattes all over the crease, one of these shimmers all over the lid, boom, you're good to go. You've got the corresponding like rainbowiness of them here. Beautiful. This was in an everyday makeup drawer and it was not used at all though. So it can't be like top 3 because I clearly don't reach for it that much, but when I do reach for it, I love it. I think it's so nice. When I want to do a colourful look, but I don't really want to put much thought into it, I love just doing a blue in the crease, then a blue shimmer on the lid, big wing, big lashes, boom. This is beautiful for that. These shimmers are nice. This does have what I like to call the drugstore scam. Okay, so that basically means when a drugstore company is coming out with a new palette, they will pick the shade that they think will be the most used. In this palette, it's this gold, and they will make that gold the most beautiful, intense, flaky, sparkly eyeshadow ever known to man. And then they'll just like whatever the rest of them are just like fine. However, they still work really nicely. They are quite thick and chunky apart from this gold, which is so smooth and like stunning. I think you can definitely see the difference in quality between that gold and that blue. It's definitely there. And a lot of drugstore palettes do this. And a lot of people agreed with me when I said this as well. A lot of people were like, oh my god, you know what? You're absolutely right. It's a really, really good, solid palette. It's great. I think for someone who isn't really into like the duochromes and the crazy, like the Pastel Roses shimmers, it's a really, really nice palette. I would probably go over some of these shimmers with a duochrome or a glitter or something like that. But just for a very, very toned down, colourful look, this one's got you covered. And it does have a white cream as well. If you really wanted those colours to pop, it's got that white cream. You can really make a clear base, which will make these colours a lot more saturated. So I think it's a great option to have. This cream shade is so pigmented. A little goes a very long way. I learned that the hard way. So if you are going to get this palette, dip your brush in very, very slightly because yeah, I was like a snowman. I was Frosty the Snowman when that was put on my face. It was just everywhere. So do not do what I did. Learn from my mistakes. Don't do that. But I think it's great. And for the price as well, incredible. I did buy this for my full face of Revolution and that went really, really well. There was a lot of really, really staple products in that video, so I'm really happy about that. Okay, we're in top 3 now, which is super, super exciting. Top 3. This was really, really difficult because all 3 of these palettes are beautiful. All three of these are stunning, and if you've been on my channel for the past 6 months and you've got a keen eye, you'll probably know the three that are left. So for no reason other than the colour story, at number 3 is the Odin's Eye x Morgan Turner Love Language palette. This is a pinky purple neutral leaning palette, and you know when I said about the Minka I wish it had options? This is what I mean. This palette has a pink option, a purple option, a neutral option. I'm not a pink girl, but I can still use and love this palette. The amount of different looks you can do with this is so good. I often just kind of cover this quad and then just look at this palette. This is very me. This is so me to a T. Cool tone smoky shades, a few little neutrals here and there. So stunning. But because of this quad, it cannot be in top 2. It just can't. I can't do it. Cannot do that. Sorry. This... so good. This was, again, one of those palettes that I saw it before I got it in PR. Odin's Eye do this really cool thing. They will send out an email and it's got all these like graphics on it. And I saw a picture of this palette on the email and I was like, oh, yay, another pink palette from Odin's Eye, like great. And then I got it and I was like, oh my god, this is actually so good. I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit that does happen quite a lot with me. I'll see a photo of a palette and I'll be like, yeah, and then I'll get it in real life. I'll be like, oh no, this is actually really good. So this was definitely one of those palettes. I love how everyone, no matter what kind of look you're into, can get something from this palette. And that is really important to me. It is so important to not just cater to the pink girls or the neutral girls or the purple girls. You know, you've got to cater to everyone. And I think this palette does that. Obviously, if you're into pinks, neutrals, or purples, that is. If you love green, I mean, maybe skip this palette. But then again, pink and green go together very well, so... you know, I reach for this a lot more than I thought I would. I reach for these kind of cool tone smoky purples a lot, and I love that. This is one of those palettes, even though it's never been a project pan, I do reach for it a lot, and I do reach for these shimmers especially a lot to complement my looks and to finish my looks, and I really love it for that. I think it's a really solid palette, a Valentine's Day palette that is not all just pinky reds. There is some grunge in there and I love that. Now, number 2, there's only 2 more palettes left to talk about. So at number 2, this is the Singe Agate Temptation eyeshadow palette. This, a lot of people were saying, you don't like greens and you don't like oranges, so like what the hell's going on here? I love being challenged. I don't reach for these colours that often. However, I do enjoy wearing them and I do enjoy challenging myself to make beautiful looks with these, and that I definitely did. I loved all the looks that I did with this palette. I did a initial review and a 2 looks 1 palette. All of them turned out beautifully. I still need to do this. I've not used this shade in like a smoky taupe look. I'm going to do a kind of similar to what I'm wearing today, smoky taupes with a bright chartreuse inner corner. Maybe like this shade over the top of that. Yes. And I want to do like a sicky green look as well with these two. I'm really excited. This makes me excited. I think because I play around with blues and taupes and colours that aren't in this palette quite a lot, when I see this colour story, it scares me, definitely, because again, I'm not used to playing with these shades, but it also excites me because there's new things to do. Would I reach for a blue over this? Yes. However, when I do wear this and when I do reach for this, and I have been reaching for this a hell of a lot recently because it is a newer palette, I'm so excited because it's almost like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I sometimes get a little bit lazy with blue because I use it so much. I don't do many like blue crazy looks anymore, but when I see something like this, I think of all these different crazy creative looks that I can do because I don't often reach for these shades. Does that make sense? I love it. I love it. I love it so much. The quality is amazing. The color story is great for neutral lovers. You've got this row down at the bottom, but also you've got options up top here as well. This is what I mean by options. You got neutrals, you got reds, you got greens, and then you've got these like sticky, grungy greens as well. Really staple palette. I am baffled that I got this sent in PR. It is like one of those pinch me moments. I pinch myself every time I get a PR package, but there are some brands that I'm like, no way. No way! And this was one of those brands. I'm so excited for Angie. I cannot wait to see what she releases in the future. I'm so ready. And I love this palette. Which means there is one palette left to talk about, and maybe some of you know what it is. Maybe. I think this was number 1 in my last ranking. I think I ranked palettes that I tried like 3 months ago, and this was number 1 then as well. This is the Adept Cosmetics Vivette eyeshadow palette. It's got to be number 1. It has to be number 1. There is no other place to put this. This I was scared of when I first saw it. I sat here and thought, what the hell do I do with that? But the more I use it, the more I love it, and the more I actually appreciate this, and the more I just can't put it down. It's crazy in the best possible way. This is a crazy palette, but we love her, you know? She really makes me think, and what I was saying again about challenging myself and thinking about looks that maybe I wouldn't do on a regular basis, this is one of those palettes. It makes me sit and think, and it makes me really delve into that creative streak that I love to show here on my channel. Like, this look is not creative. This look is just a gradient. It's nothing crazy. I wouldn't class this as creative. This makes me be creative. This makes me do crazy cut creases, crazy graphic liner, crazy glitter, crazy this, crazy gems, crazy everything. And I love it when a palette can push me to do that. I think that is a sign of a really good palette. It is a sign of a innovative palette, and this is definitely that through and through. The quality... This is what I mean by like crazy intense indie duochromes, crazy intense shimmers. If you like a subtle lid, run and hide from this. It is not the palette for you. For those of you that love indie, that love craziness, that love color, that love everything like that, this is your palette, girly. This is your palette. Is it scary? Yes, but give it a chance and you'll fall in love, just like I did. You really, really will. I love it. And it's heavy. She's a heavy gal. Oh my god. So this is it. All of the palettes that I have tried so far this year. This is the first 6 months of the year. I'm sure I will be trying a lot more palettes in the second half of the year. I have so many palettes already in my new in drawers that I have to make content on. And I just cannot wait to try even more palettes. Let me know, do you want me to do this with blushes, with lipsticks, with loads of different products? I can do this with foundations. I can rank my whole foundation collection. Let me know what you think down below. Give me some content ideas. But with that being said, this is where I'm going to love you and leave you today, guys. I hope you have an absolutely incredible day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye.